Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's Cabin. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But let's go ahead and get right into episode number two here in the cabin. Sunday night or Sunday football in general, man, it was one hell of a ride for sure. If you guys didn't tap into any of this action, you guys missed one hell of a weekend. But let's kick things off, man, with the 1 o'clock hour games. We had some excellent action. I'm going to start things off with Aaron Rodgers at the top of this chart at the 1 o'clock game. Uh, I know a lot of people were hoping this was the Sunday night football game, but when I get to that, you guys will know that Sunday night football did not disappoint. But it would have been nice for this to at least be a 4 o'clock game. But at the 1 o'clock hour, we got to see Aaron Rodgers show to the world that he is not finished yet, throwing 4 touchdowns in his debut with the Steelers beating his former team 34 to 32. Very close game. Aaron Rodgers is going to take the Steelers back to their homeland and play up against Seattle next week. So we'll get into that one and we'll see how he fares at home and if he can go 2-0 to start his career off in Pittsburgh. Also at the 1 o'clock hour, we had Baker leading the Bucks to a 23-20 victory. Michael Penix, he fell short of that comeback. Young Ho Wei Koo, he missed a 44-yard field goal at the end of that game. Very unlike him, he doesn't typically miss these type of field goals, so we know he's kicking himself in the foot for sure regarding this one, and we possibly won't see him miss another one for the rest of the season. He is definitely a great kicker, but Baker and the Bucks, they got things done, started the season off right against the divisional rivals, and Baker has a Sunday night football date next week against the Houston Texans in Houston. So we'll see how he does there, and if he can continue this winning streak. Daniel Jones in the 1 o'clock hour, he with that new change of scenery as well. He took two rushing TDs and he led the Colts to a 33-8 whopping victory over the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill was absolutely disappointed. You could see his frustrations all throughout this game. I'm curious to see if at any point throughout the season he tries to request a trade. We did see and we heard a lot of rumors before about him requesting trades. We've seen certain tweets from his account as well, throwing up peace signs and things like that as well. So could we see an in-season trade of Tyreek Hill, or what could we see as far as them trying to bolster up that roster? But it doesn't look like things are looking up bright for Tua and the Dolphins right now. But Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, they got things done. Like I said, Daniel Jones, two rushing touchdowns. That change of scenery is working well for him for right now. But next week he's got a home matchup against Bo Nix in Denver, and that one's not going to be fun for Daniel Jones. Denver's defense is definitely not one to play with. But I'll get into that one next week. So, but for now, Daniel Jones riding high on that victory, and we'll get into what's next for him next week. But also we have Bryce Young. He still has a lot of things to work on. He threw two interceptions. Uh, there was also no run defense as Travis Etienne ran the ball for 143 yards. They lost this game 26 to 10. And as I said before, this is Bryce Young's make or break year. So if Bryce doesn't get things together, I could see them trying to draft a quarterback very here soon in the next 2 years, and possibly letting Bryce Young go. Um, I'm not sure if this is his contract year or if it's next year, but Bryce Young, I don't see them re-signing him. They're more than likely going to be moving on from him very soon here as well. And I believe they still have Andy Dalton on their roster, so I could see them trying to go back to him. And we'll see what happens. Bryce, he travels to Arizona next week after losing this matchup 26-10. So and throwing two interceptions. We'll see if he can right those wrongs next week. Um, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders that they also played in the 1 o'clock hour, and the Commanders they continue to do their commanding ways on the Giants. Unlike last season though, the Giants did put up a little bit more of a fight, but the uh, the Commanders ended up getting their ways, and that rookie QB looked absolutely exceptional. He was the leading back However, Eckler did hit that bet that I said he would. He hit his rushing total as well. But the Commanders led their way to a 21-6 victory here. They have a Thursday night football date, so not much time to rest with the Green Bay Packers. So that's going to be a very tough matchup for them. But Jaden Daniels, he's still looking great. They have Debo Samuels, who got his first touchdown as Commanders this week, and a lot of people were questioning their offseason things as far as getting rid of Brian Robinson, but we can see that rookie has stepped in and stepped up. Eckler is still doing his thing, and Jaden Daniels on his own is doing what he needs to do. So I don't think Brian Robinson will be missed too much, and hopefully they can turn that 6th round pick into something gold for them, like they did with that 7th round pick and that running back we see. So we'll see what's next for both of those for all those guys. In another 1 o'clock game, we had Kyler Murray hitting his two favorite targets all day long. He hit Marvin Harrison 5 out of 6 times, 71 yards and a touchdown, and he targeted Trey McBride 9 times for 6 catches and 61 yards, picking up a 20-13 victory over the Saints. So that was a great game for Kyler Murray. He did everything he needed to do. He even ran the ball well as well. Call of Duty, the new one's not out yet. If anybody plays video games here, we know that the Call of Duty that's out right now, especially the Warzone, is absolutely terrible, full of cheaters and just full of people just hiding in corners. It's honestly like playing hide and go seek with your friends, except this time with guns and yeah, it's just it's not a fun time. Call of Duty, hopefully BO7 will get better. So by the time October comes around, I expect Kyler Murray's stats to dwindle. But we'll see what happens. They have a favorable home date next week against the Carolina Panthers that we'll get into next week. But until now, Kyler Murray doing Kyler Murray things. Um, in uh in another 1 o'clock game, we had the new look Raiders traveling over to New England, and like I told you guys, they were going in there to spoil Drake May's home opener and get one for Tom Brady, which they did exactly that. Genty, he first NFL game had 38 yards on 19 carries, 1 touchdown, got his first NFL touchdown. But it was really Brock Bowers that put on five catches for 103 yards in that victory. So shout out to them. Hopefully Drake May and everybody can get things together. But the Raiders, they got a home date with the Chargers on Monday Night Football, a divisional game next. That's going to be tough for them. The Chargers, they got things done in Brazil against the Chiefs, so they'll be coming home from that. So I'm sure the Raiders will be hoping that the Chargers aren't too rested up from that trip. So, but we'll get into that later on. And on to the next one. Brock Purdy led the 49ers to a 17-13 victory over the overcoming 2 interceptions and ending up throwing 2 touchdowns to secure a victory this week. And they travel to New Orleans next week, so we'll see what they can do. And if you guys love a soccer game, you guys would have loved to watch the game against the Denver Broncos and Tennessee Titans this week, as we got a combined 6 total field goals made in that 20-12 victory that Denver got. Denver will travel to play the new look Colts, as I got into a little bit earlier. Daniel Jones doing Daniel Jones things in his new team, but Bo Nix is one hell of a player, and that will be one hell of a game that we'll get into next week. But for now, if you guys are a soccer fan, you guys can go back and watch that game, as there was a lot of kicking. In another game, we finally got to see Micah Parsons on the field, but and not this time as a Dallas Cowboy, but however with his new team, the Green Bay Packers, wearing number 1 and not number 11. He got his first sack as a Green Bay Packer. Jordan Love threw 2 touchdowns on the way to a 27-13 victory over the Green Bay Packers. Um, I'm sorry, over the Detroit Lions. It was a great game and they don't have much time to rest, unfortunately, as they have a Thursday night football date with the Commanders, which is not going to be an easy one anymore. So they will have a lot to prepare for, and we'll see how much Micah Parsons gets to play in that game, as he will be playing his old rival in the Commanders. Matthew Stafford, he threw 245 yards, one touchdown, and that was enough to secure a home victory over C.J. Stroud and the Texans 14-9. And it's safe to say that the Texans are definitely missing Joe Mixon. The Rams travel to the Titans next week, so we'll see if the Rams can continue their victory ways, and hopefully C.J. Stroud and the Texans can get things together on Monday Night Football next week. But in the final game, in the final Sunday game in Sunday Night Football. It was an absolute thriller. If you guys did not get a chance to go see that, I don't care. If it's a rerun, you need to go back and watch that. It was a miraculous comeback by the Buffalo Bills in that fourth quarter to pick up that 41-40 victory. Derrick Henry ran all over the Buffalo Bills again. However, I believe he finally ended with 169 yards. But this game, there's never been a score, an ending score in the NFL before, as 41-40. I know Lamar and Derrick Henry are kicking themselves in the foot, especially Derrick Henry. He'll be looking to get revenge after that fumble that Derrick Henry had. The Buffalo Bills had all the momentum in the world. They got set up in the goal line. Josh Allen got them their touchdown. They missed that 2-point conversion, but they ended up stopping the Ravens, getting that ball back, and securing a field goal victory, one by 1 point. So the Ravens, they have to play the Browns next week, so they'll be looking to right a lot of wrongs, and hopefully kicking their home turf off in the right way with a victory and going 1-1. And Buffalo will look to move on next week as well and uh, continue their winning ways. So we'll see what's next for both of those teams. However, as far as my best bets of this week, if you guys paid any attention to that, we went 9-13 this week. So if you guys took, a good portion of them and parlayed certain ones, you guys definitely came up victorious this week. So 9-13, not bad, only missing four. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what I got for you guys next week. I do have a couple. Well, I do have two more bets for this Monday Night Football game that we'll get into. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The Vikings travel over to the Chicago Bears, and we'll finally get to see J.J. McCarthy's NFL debut that we were supposed to get last year. We were supposed to get the J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams show last year, but unfortunately it was delayed a year as J.J. McCarthy got hurt in the preseason and had to sit out a full calendar year and inserted Sam Darnold, who is now with a new team. However, Caleb Williams did get swept by the Vikings, so he is looking for his first win um, as a Chicago Bear against the Minnesota Vikings, as J.J. McCarthy is looking for his first NFL win. So who gets that first? We will see. But the biggest thing in this matchup is Adam Thielen is returning home. He is now back with the Minnesota Vikings, and J.J. McCarthy will also have a huge target in Justin Jefferson. Um, Caleb Williams, he has lost his big target in Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen returned home to the Chargers, as we saw, and Keenan Allen was doing back to doing Keenan Allen things. So we'll see if anybody can pick up those pieces for Caleb Williams. But as we do know, the Chicago Bears pride themselves on defense. They have one hell of a defense, so I'm sure their defense will be standing tall and they will not be letting up. So we'll see how much Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen can get things off. But speaking of Adam Thielen, let's get into my best bets. My first best bet is going to be on Adam Thielen, 32.5 yards back home, back where it started, back with the Minnesota Vikings. And I believe J.J. McCarthy finds a way to get Adam Thielen the ball, and he will eclipse that 32.5 points. Another person on the Minnesota Vikings that I do believe will eclipse their total uh, receiving will be TJ Hawkinson, 41.5 receiving yards. I do believe that he will hit that. And I do actually have one more best bet for you guys this week to round things out. It's a rushing bet for the Minnesota Vikings. I have Aaron Jones eclipsing that 49.5 rushing totals as he ran all over the Chicago Bears last season, 86 yards at home and 106 yards on the road. So I believe he will hit that again. 49.5 seems easy for him as his lowest total last year was 86 yards. So I do believe that will come in easily, and we'll see what happens. As far as the winner in this matchup, we have the Vikings favored 1.5, and the over and under at 43.5. I do like that under. Like I said before, I'm sorry, the Chicago Bears play excellent defense, and they're not very much of a scoring team. So I believe this will be a low scoring affair between these two teams. As far as the winner in this matchup, will Caleb Williams get his first NFL win against the Minnesota Vikings and JJ McCarthy, or can JJ get his first NFL win on the road? I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams is a little bit more seasoned right now. This is JJ McCarthy's first NFL game. I know Caleb got swept last year. He probably doesn't have the pieces that JJ does on offense. But he does have a great defense. They have an excellent defense that can hold things up, and they know Justin Jefferson well. They know how to play against him, and they know what he likes to do. So I believe that they'll be able to stop him enough to where Caleb Williams will be able to do what he needs to do to get some points on that board and secure a victory for them. So I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears money line here, and we'll see how that works out for me. But there's definitely a realm where the Minnesota Vikings win this game for sure. It's just we don't know what to expect from JJ McCarthy just yet in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the experience in Caleb Williams, and we'll see what happens here. But that is it for my NFL. So for all my NFL fans, I thank you guys here, and we're gonna get in some WWE wrestling action. For all my wrestling fans, we do have Monday Night Raw today on the horizon, so we're gonna get right into it. As we know, AJ Lee is back in the WWE, but real quick though, for all my wrestling fans that just tuned in and swiped all the way down to this end portion, make sure you guys hit that subscribe and like button down below. And let's get right into it. Like I said, AJ Lee returned and she is back in the fold, and she is expected to appear on Monday Night Raw. And I'm sure we'll get CM Punk as well. Also expected to appear on Monday Night Raw, of course, is Seth freaking Rollins. We got those two confirmed. However, Becky Lynch and CM Punk, like I said, are those two were not confirmed for Monday Night Raw, but I'm more than positive both of those two will be there. As AJ Lee and Seth Rollins, I highly doubt will be alone. I believe a lot of this is leading to a WrestlePalooza match on September 20th between these two or these four individuals. And could it be possible that we get the titles involved? We know Becky Lynch is an Intercontinental Champion, and Seth Rollins has that World Heavyweight title. So could we see a mixed tag team match that's for both of those championships? That could be very interesting. Either way, a lot of eyes are going to be on that match, and a lot of eyes are going to be on Monday Night Raw just for those two individuals. We also have a huge contract signing for WrestlePalooza and Iyo Sky and Stephanie Valkyra. That matchup is for the vacated women's title that Naomi unfortunately had to vacate, but fortunately for her, as she got pregnant and is now expecting a child with Big Jim. So congratulations to her, of course. And I'm sure at some point she'll be back in the fold and back fighting for that woman's title and hopefully reclaim what she never lost. But as I said, we'll be getting a contract signing for a huge matchup between two of the greatest women in the ring. I wish we could kind of see more of Stephanie Valkyra. It's been a little while since she's been in the ring, so hopefully she can get a little bit of a tune-up match prior to Saturday's WrestlePalooza. But we'll see what Hunter has in store for Stephanie prior to WrestlePalooza, and as well as Iyo Sky. She's involved in some weird interactions with the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea Ripley as well right now, so maybe that's going to distract her, and Stephanie Valkyra will be able to pick up this victory over her. And I also was kind of hoping that we would get some more women involved in this matchup and it wouldn't just be a singles match, but it is what it is. This is definitely going to be one hell of a match. Like I said before, these two women are excellent workers in the ring, and we are definitely going to get a five-star match out of these two. Speaking of matches, we have two matches confirmed for this week. We have AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano. We'll finally get to see El Grande in the ring. However, this will not be Chad Gable, as I believe this is Ludwig Kaiser under that mask, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. So it looks like we'll be getting Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande versus AJ Styles. Definitely going to be a great matchup for sure. I'm sure AJ will pick up the victory here, but I'm sure Dominic Mysterio will also be out there and possibly trying to help El Grande pick up the victory and possibly could help him do that, unfortunately. But we'll see what's next for AJ Dom and El Grande in this matchup, I'm sure. And the last and only other matchup we have confirmed for right now is Lyra Valkyra versus Raquel. After that backstage incident last week where Lyra came in and was trying to talk to Adam Pearce, Raquel and Roxanne were mainly Roxanne were going back and forth with Lyra Valkyra. However, Raquel will be facing her. I highly expect Roxanne to get involved, and I'm sure this will lead to Roxanne and Lyra getting into it. Maybe this could lead to Bailey coming back, and we could see a Bailey and Lyra Valkyra tag team going after Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Um, Maybe we could get that down the line. Who knows? Who knows what's next for Bailey? Bailey is in a world of her own right now, and we'll have to find out what happens with Bailey next. But I do like where this direction is going. She's been stale for a little while now, and I'd love for her to pick things back up and get back on track. So we'll see what happens with this and with the rest of Monday Night Raw. I'll hit you guys later on in the week with another episode out of the cabin when we get ready for some Thursday night football and some more wrestling action as well. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And until next time, just remember this is Hefe's Cabin, and I'll see you guys next time.